This is Michael Behrens. It's February 13th, 2021 in my Northwest Austin neighborhood. And we are in the middle of a cold snap, the likes of which we hadn't had in many years. Ice storm, multiple power outages. It's in the 20s all day today, projected to get near zero in a couple days. On Monday, it's Saturday right now. And it's also the weekend of the Great Backyard Bird Count, or Cornell Labs. So I'm trying to get out a little bit and see some birds. And this is just in my backyard. I estimate there's like 20, 30 robins, American robins out here. We have robins are mostly here in the winter, although they actually breed here. You can find robins here year-round, but there are more here in the winter, the migratory species. And they are hopping around doing their thing. Foraging. Finding food in these kinds of cold temperatures is extra important to keep their metabolism going and keep themselves warm. But they also all birds have feathers that keep them warm. But in order for those feathers to keep them warm, they have to keep them in really good shape. They puff them out when it gets colder. People say birds look fat when it's colder. It's because they're puffing out their feathers to have more air space. And it's really neat to see these robins out and about. It's such a cold day. Here's another bird sort of acting like a robin right now, although not exactly digging, just looking more on the surface of the ground. This is a Yellow-rumped Warbler, another mostly winter species. Well, the Yellow-rumped Warblers are pretty exclusively winter species here. You can see this one is puffed out from the cold as well. And look at those bright yellow shoulders. Like the name suggests, it also has a yellow rump, which it's not showing right now. Its wings are folded over its rump. And there he goes. This Yellow-rumped Warbler has gotten closer to me. It's right in my driveway now. You can see his feathers are puffed up almost all the way down to cover its feet as it's foraging for food on the ground. You can see a little bit of yellow on the top of its head, even. So it's getting pretty close now. Have to back off a little bit. Beautiful bird on a cold day. Here's a Bewick's Wren, a year-round resident here in the neighborhood, foraging near the ground with the robins. You can just see his tail now. I just watched about 100 American goldfinches fly over, and a bunch of them landed in some nearby trees. You see this ice storm we're experiencing. Look at all that ice on the branches. How are these birds finding a place to perch? This one looks like it's actually picking at the ice. I wonder if it's if it's eating some ice for water, or if it's actually finding some food there. Look at that. We don't see this type of freeze and accumulation of ice much as in central Texas. Wow. Here are more of the American goldfinches and icy twigs, icy branches way up in the tops of the trees. American goldfinches are just a winter bird here. When they're here in the winter, they look pretty drab like this, and they will often be mixed in with our year-round lesser goldfinches. And this winter there've been so many pine siskins as well. Look at those icy branches. And they will be brightening up, getting lots of bright yellow on them, and then leaving for northern states. And here's a Cedar Waxwing. I saw just two come in and land near each other, staying warm, puffing out its feathers. They're a winter bird too. They'll be heading back north pretty soon. That's a cold bird. Look at the black mask, the little yellow tips to the end of the tail. I always thought these were a very sleek looking bird, looking like little fighter jets. Very cool to see these guys in the ice. I usually don't point my camera at other people's houses, but I just couldn't resist. Look at all of these American goldfinches foraging on a neighbor's roof. They must be eating, my guess is, I think they must be eating the cedar elm seeds that have fallen off all the cedar elms over the house. That's my guess anyway. Yeah, these are some good looking American goldfinches, starting to get more color before they leave us for the summer. So cool. Hope nobody calls the cops on me for pointing my camera at a house like this. There they go. Well, I'm back in my backyard after getting back from a very cold, brief bird walk around my neighborhood, but I've been in the house so long through this cold spell, I had to get out. There's some Cedar Waxwings flying overhead, and I had an enjoyable walk through the neighborhood a little bit, just around the block. Got to see a bunch of American goldfinches. When I first got started out, my yard was full of robins here, with one Yellow-rumped Warbler that was sort of acting like a robin, foraging near the ground, on the ground. And now when I get back, the robins seem to be gone. They have moved on. So even in what we Central Texans consider crazy cold temperatures, the birds are still out here. They're foraging, making a living, doing their thing, and they're out here for us to find and observe and enjoy.